this strategy is using MACD. Now, here are the rules. It is really important to know that you can't use the basic default MACD parameters, because if you are using those, you should know that everybody else is doing that, and it won't be profitable anymore, because now we are trading against artificial intelligence and the best programmers in the world. So we have to be smart to be able to get an edge over the market when we are trading. And this is why I actually code all the strategy that I show you. And this is why I test all the strategy with spread, with variable spread and commission and slippage, to actually see how it would perform in real data. So let's see. So first I will show you the buy entry rules. So the buy entry rules are not that hard. It is this strategy is only using MACD, but there are some tricks that I will show you. So first we will need a custom period MACD. So the fast is 6. First I will tell you all the parameters, so you can use the same indicator that I did. The slow will be 13, and the signal one will be 4. So basically our first condition is that our main line has to cross above our signal line with these parameters that I showed you here. And we have a second condition as well. So this was our first condition, and we have a second condition. So our second condition is basically using different parameters as well, because as I said before, we have to choose and analyze and just use the best qualitative data to actually see what is the perfect parameter for us to actually be profitable with a strategy, and not just some gambling. So we have a fast that is 24, we have a slow that is 52, and we have a signal that is that is 18. So this is the parameter set, and it is the following. The main line has to be above the signal line. These are our basic entry rules, and now I will show you how you can trade it. So as you see, here are the rules. Now what we need is 2 MACD indicators. So our first condition is, I will just put the right parameters here. I guess you already did that, so I will try to do it fast. And if you take a look at it closer, I'm showing you that here our main line crossed above our signal line. So here we checked our first condition, so that's good. Okay, let's see our second condition, because that is just as important, and you can't actually trade with a strategy that if you don't follow all the rules. So let's see. I I guess you already did that too, but you know, I want to show it so you can actually start trading with it. So as you see, it is perfect because our main line is well above our signal line. So right here at the spot where we took this trade, it was a perfect entry, so we entered the markets and it turned out to be a good trade. Now I have to mention that I don't bullshit, and actually I don't just draw these trades to the chart and just randomly. I actually pick these trades from the bunch that I tested with the algorithm, the completely automated algorithm. So it is not some human stuff that I draw. It is real data. So this is where the strategy picked up the trade, and this is where we will be closing it. So let's see our buy exit rules, because this was a really good entry and we should have a really good exit rule if we want to be profitable, of course, if it is our intention. So because most traders don't care about the exit rules, and it is foolish, because if you have a good exit rule, it is better to have a good exit rule than a good entry rule, basically, because you can turn a bad trade to a good trade, but if you don't have a good exit rule, you can turn a good trade to a pretty bad trade because you don't have any exit plan. So let's see. The buy exit is really basic. It is maybe for some people kind of surprising, because it is an asymmetrical strategy, because we are work against big banks and stuff, as I said before. So we can't use strategies that are too predictable, because we will be hunted by big banks and stuff. So it is not a good thing in this scenario to use predictable strategies. So we are using the default one here for the exit rule. As you see, the fast is 12, the slow is 26, and the signal line is 9. It is our first condition. And our first condition is that the main line has to cross above the signal line with these parameters. And we have a second and a third condition as well for the exit rule, because it is a serious strategy. So we can only close the trade if 300 minutes passed after entry of the trade, and 110 pips, and we are in 110 pips profit. It is really important to follow these instructions, because I tested it for actually years, this strategy, and it works this way. So don't really change these rules, and don't interrupt the strategy when you are trading with it. So our third condition is basically a safety stop loss. It is in every one of my strategies, because if you don't have a safety stop loss, then you will fail in trading, and you don't want that, because there can be a crisis, a crash, anything can happen, and it is not a good thing if you don't prepare for the worst. And this is the way you will be profitable, if you prepare for the absolute worst scenario, and then you expect growth, of course, but with the good mindset. So these are rules. Let's see where is the exact spot where we exited this trade. I just show you in a minute. So our sorry, I don't want to do that. So our main line crossed above the signal line right here. So here we closed this trade in approximately 130 pips profit, and of course the 300 minutes passed. It is obvious. So we had this trade for, you know, just a couple of days actually, and it turned out to be a really good trade that was worth taking. So, and actually it is not a special trade out of the bunch that I just picked it randomly. There are many better trades than this, but I don't want to show the best trades of the bunch that the data showed, because that is not real trading if I would do that. So yeah, now I hope you understand this. I will put all the rules in the description, and now let's see the sell entry and exit rules. So let's see the sell strategy. This is pretty simple. If you already learned the strategy for the buy trades, the sell trades are nothing complex, nothing more complex. So let's see. Basically, we have the same. Oh, I can just do this. Yeah, because most of the parameters are pretty much the same, so I will just overwrite these. Basically, it is just, and I will explain it to. I guess if you are already a trader, it is obvious for you, but yeah. So let's see now. The sell entry rules are, in my opinion, so they are just really intuitive. We have a first condition, and it is that the main line should cross below the signal line, and we have a fast 6, a slow 13, and a signal 4, as we did with our buy entry. And here we have, because it is an asymmetrical strategy to beat, you know, to have an edge over the market, so we have a slightly different parameter set that the algorithm gave us. So we have a fast 26, we have a slow 12, and we have a signal 18. These are our numbers for our second condition for the sell entry, and our main line has to be below the signal line. So let's see. I will show you how it all works, because it will be really interesting, and in my opinion it is a really nice trade that we did with this strategy. So here is our first one. I will just go and a bit closer so I can actually show it to you better. We have a perfect cross basically here to the downwards direction. So our first condition is checked. It is absolutely perfect, because as you see, it is our first condition parameter set, the 6, 13, and the 4, as I see it here. So our second one is here, and as you see, it is the 26, the 12, and the 18. And we are really lucky with this trade, because at the moment when this cross happened, our MACD line was actually below our signal line, and it is just great because you know, with a slight change in time, it could have been not a good opportunity that we couldn't take, but with this setup we could take this trade, and the exit strategy helped a lot, because we actually closed the trade, or rather we, you know, the algorithm that I tested with closed the trade at the perfect spot, in my opinion. So yeah, we discussed the the entry rules. Let's see the exit rules. The exit rules are really simple. It is truly nothing fancy. So let's see. We have, I will just override this, I guess, because why not? Our first rule is really, really simple. And it is, that the main line should cross below the signal line, and we have the here. Actually, we are using the, as you know, with the buy exit, the basic 26, 12, and 9 periods. And we have our second and third condition, but those are just the same as with the buy strategy. So and I just want to tell you one more thing before we will go and see the real 99.9% Dukas copy backtest that I do with the algorithm, with the because I coded the strategy, as I said. And actually, this is just a tip for people who want to trade long term, because I am actually a long-term trader, and of course in these strategy videos I want beginners, advanced traders, and every kind of type of trader to actually be able to trade this strategy, and don't be discouraged by the really complexity of the strategy. And if I would make a strategy that would require like insane patience and emotional strength, then for example beginner or semi-advanced traders won't be able to trade it, and it is not fair. So this is why, for example, I put 300 minutes here, because in my own strategies I tend to use higher numbers because I'm a long-term trader. So this strategy I tested with this number, and it of course I will show you the real trades with all the trades with these numbers. But for example, in my own EAs and strategies, I use most of the time 3,000 to 5,000 minutes after entry, because I trade for long term. And so I just want to say that you should use the numbers that you are comfortable with. So if you have patience, then you can use higher numbers like I do, and I just like to travel and do whatever I want, and don't care about the trades that are constantly just getting opened. And I just like that my EA or my strategy like runs trades for a couple of weeks. But I know that many of you are day traders, so therefore a 300 minutes after entry and this parameter can be really profitable for you and doable as well. So yeah, it was just a quick note. So I put these numbers here, and as you see here, it was a perfect exit for us because the main line crossed below the signal line. So we actually closed our trade, and the algorithm showed that the trade has a good risk to reward ratio overall with everything we considered, and it was just a quality trade. So that's why I showed you this. And there are many more quality trades, and now I will show you all the trades, and more importantly the statistics of the entire strategy for years that I did with the algorithm. So let's see. So we are in MT4, and actually now I will show you the test that the algorithm did. As you see, I'm using Dukascopy tick data. It is a tick data that can be purchased, and I used it for years, and it was my best investment at the beginning when I started this, because without real tick data that is not just 90% or even 50, you know, you can't do real test, and you can't really trust your tests. And that's why people think that backtest is bullshit, because they don't know what tick data is. And you know, it is just how it works. So use tick data, and I use variable spread, as you see here. And actually I ran this test, of course, for the video, but I will run it for you one more time. And this gives all the trades that the strategy did, and it is really interesting to see how it performed and how good it performed in live markets. So now I will run the algorithm, and I will show you the statistics of the strategy. So let's see. I won't use visual mode right now because that is just too much time, and I've already had quite yeah, we are at, yeah, so this video is long enough. So I want to, if I would use visual mode, it is really interesting to see, but it would take few hours, and you know, it's just too much. So let's see. At the beginning we had some bad trades, but we are getting some power here. And of course it is really important, and this is why I show you the bad trades as well, because if you are a trader, you have to deal with bad trades. It is just how life works. And most people think that a strategy is good if there are only winning streaks, and it is not the truth at all. Because basically, if you are using a strategy, there will be a strategy that is actually worthwhile and valuable, you will have winning streaks and losing streaks, because only a scammer or a gambler will tell you that you know, there is a strategy as always winning. It is not true. It is not true mathematically, and it is just bullshit. So as you see, it is a pretty nice growth, and this is why I'm showing you why, if there's a losing streak, you have to keep your cool, because at the beginning there's a losing streak. Yeah, this can happen, and it happens in the markets. And if you are disciplined enough, and if you believe in your system and you tested it, you know that this can happen. And it is the best thing that I gained when I started to code my strategies, that I know that, oh, okay, because I'm a really analytical person, and I know that, oh, okay, the maximum number of losing trades in a row will be 5. So I won't panic when I have a 4 losing streak, because I know that I can actually lose one more time, and after that the market will bounce back and will go in my favor again. And this is actually how it works. You should know your strategy, and then you will be I would say fearless, but you will actually have an understanding and a better, just, you know, you will be so much better at trading. This is the truth. So we have a nice graph here, but I want to show you the real statistics. As you see, it is 99.9%. In my own trading, I don't use this much of a risk. I use like half of that, and that is fine with me, because the drawdown of approximately 18, around 18, is what is the maximum drawdown that I like. Let's say that. But now I used a double of that in this test, double lot size, just to see how it works when there is a more stressful environment, and it didn't blow the account at all. We have a pretty good correlation of largest profit trade and loss trade, and we have a much larger largest profit trade than loss trade. That is a really good indicator of a good strategy. And we have a higher average profit trade and loss trade. That is also good. So, and we have a higher average consecutive wins than losses. That is also, of course, a good measurement. So, and we have a great growth. So of course you can use this strategy on not just one currency, but I couldn't show more currency in one video because it is already long enough. If you are interested in more strategy videos, subscribe to this channel and do everything, I don't know, share it with your friends and stuff to just, you know, share some good strategies that are actually tested. Ciao.